Hi everyone, welcome to Tech Down Over. I'm Rick Zanotti, and
I'm Jeffrey Blanchard.
Welcome to the show. Here we go. And we are back, and joining us today again, second visit on the show. It's been about 2 years. We've got Pete Fox from Westcott. He's a senior technical, representative?
Technical representative. Product specialist.
And Pete's a great guy, and he's moved into a different position from the last time, so he's more involved with the products directly and teaching and all the other fun stuff that he gets to do, and kind of indirect sales while he's at it. So, and Pete, you got a nice beard now too. You look good.
Yeah, did I have it shaved off last time?
You were shaved off last time, yeah. I was going, he looks different. He looks good. So it's good to have you back on, and you guys are always doing cool things. What's new in the world of, now last time we talked, I think we had, at that time we had one ice light and one flex light. We have a lot more flex lights now. We still only have one ice light. One of these days we're going to get the new one. And what have you guys been up to? There's always new stuff happening.
Well, the latest thing is Flex RGBW DMX Cine line. So we've added a lot of things to the Flex line, but we really built it from the ground up to be a whole new system that allows, like DMX is new. So where the old Flex was plug it in, turn it on, turn it up, turn it down,
yep,
bicolor. Now we've added all the different options of RGBW, and so it's pretty incredible. Yeah, I see you've got a screen up there. The Luminaire app allows you to control it as well. So it's just an awesome product.
And the RGBW lights, for those who don't know, they support full RGB, right?
They support full RGB and W. So it gives us a little more refinement, especially when we're working in the bicolor mode, or with traditional daylight, and also increases output over what you could get from just standard using just the RG and B. So yeah, it's a phenomenal product. Like I said, we've been working on it since the last time we talked, almost 2 years ago.
Wow, it's great. Well, good things take time, don't they?
They do, and there's a lot of back and forth, and it's a whole new unique system with the Westcott, because it's a hybrid system of continuous power and modulation. So it's a very unique system.
Now, are they flexible as well?
They are flexible, and they've added like the corners have magnets on them.
Oh, nice, nice.
Actually, have stuff right up here. So
now, the reason I'm saying nice is because that's the kind of stuff that you wish you could put on something, unless you paste some magnets on it. That's really cool, because you don't know how many times you've got to put lights up where it's metallic and you have nowhere to put them. That's great.
Yeah, so you just go right on a metallic surface, or there's little grommets on as well, so you can hang them up in different ways and different fashions. But again, they're really lightweight. So it's phenomenal what you can do with the Flex mats as a whole system, but these new ones are just over the top.
Well, we were talking a little bit pre-show with Pete about when we've done about 4 trade shows over the last couple of years, we've taken Flex lights. The Flex lights are so easy to travel with. We put them in our director bag from Think Tank and put those in. We've got the tripods, which are real easy to work with, real easy to just take, and we're good to go. It doesn't weigh much of anything. We put it in existing production bags, and we don't need other lights. We take 2 or 3 of them, and people are just blown away. I tell you, we get this comment all the time. What is that? That's so thin. And then I go, yeah, well, how about this? And you fold it, and they're just like, the mouths open up. So it's really cool. They're fun lights to have. They don't generate any heat, and they're just, like you said, extremely versatile. They're just wonderful. Now we don't have. Go ahead.
I saw a video by another light manufacturer, and I was intrigued. They were doing an on-location shoot for a restaurant, and I was intrigued by the fact that they pulled up in this big moving van and hauled out all these stands and big boom arms and you know, 20-pound lights that were 1x2 lights to light up this restaurant scene. And I thought, you know, I could fit all that same stuff with Flex in my Mini Cooper.
Yeah, that's funny. Yeah,
I carried all myself instead of having four people that had to.
Well, you know what it probably was. It was probably an older shooting company. They're used to shooting with a lot of old gear, and that's what they bring out. I remember we used to go out with the flow lights, the Kino flow lights, and they're heavy. I mean, you got this big thing that's this big, plus you've got to carry the heavy C stands, and now you've added about 40, 50 pounds to your gear, and it's not that, and you have the problem that they're also fluorescents in the old days, and that fluorescents break easier, a lot more easily. So,
and the LED quality is really advanced lately. So, a lot of improvements over what ACF out light quality.
Yeah.
And you and I were talking before the show. That's become more and more important as these cameras are capable of recording all these little nuances. That you want to make sure that the light quality is there.
And if you notice right now, I think the CRI on yours was either 95 or over. It's pretty high, the color render index, and I imagine it's probably gotten higher.
Yeah, it goes up as high as 98 with some
98.
settings.
So in essence, with the CRI, you're getting almost the exact light as you would if it was real natural light.
Yes, very, very close to what sunlight would do.
Mm-hmm. That's pretty amazing. You get a bit of sunburn pretty soon on these, right? But no, they just work beautifully. And at 98 CRI, the light is so clean. You know, unless you've actually been in front of one of those, you usually kind of get a yellowish tinge, or you get not quite the right light. And with these, it's just clean. Just really, really clean. Plus, when you buy the kits, they come with the diffusers. They come with other things. So it's completely portable. We got the I think the second set of Flex lights we got came, it was a B&H kit, and it came with everything, diffusers, some extra panels, some, just everything you need in a bag that's about maybe 1.5 feet by maybe a foot, and that's it. Very convenient. Actually, we have that bag here somewhere, but that's okay.
I mean, we a la carted most of those items, but there are kits as well, and kits have been such a huge hit because there are so many different configurations of those, and so many different products now with barn doors and grids and hard panels and all those different options.
It's very cool, and you know, price-wise, it wasn't that much. I think we paid. It was under $1,500. It was like $1,300 for 2 1x1 lights, plus all the accessories, plus all the power, the dimmers, everything else, the diffusers, and the case. And believe me, worth every penny when you consider the weight and the quality of light. They're just great. And because they're flexible, you know, people think that's a gimmick. No, we were in one shoot where we had to wrap it around a bit of a column because we didn't have enough room where they put us to mount it. But it was perfect because we could just slightly bend it, and we could have bent it all the way, and it gave perfect light. And everybody was going, "What? How'd you do that?" And we went with it's flexible.
A really, really cost-effective way, and the new Cines are more about functionality and just moving the whole level up.
Yeah.
So you will expect to spend more on the Cine line than you would on the original one, but the original Flex are still out there and still available through Westcott too. So if that's the functionality you need, that's a great system as well.
Yeah. How much different is the Cine line in terms of cost for those interested?
Well, it depends on the route you go. I would definitely steer people to our website to see what's involved in what you actually need. It's kind of hard to compare. Like the mats themselves will be lower cost, but then the dimmer is a higher value. So when you start putting them together, now the dimmer will work with the original mats. So obviously it's not going to give you RGBW capability. If the mat's a bicolor, it's only going to give you bicolor. But the new dimmer will work across all mats. And it's one dimmer that functions for all the Cine line mats.
Interesting.
So you plug in your mat, and the dimmer automatically recognizes what's plugged into it and sets all the functionality for that particular mat. So
now, for those who haven't done cinema work, what is the difference between a cinema light or Cine light and the regular Flex?
Well, first of all, the Cine light's going to give you the option of going RGBW. So in the Cine line, that option is there. All the cables have been upgraded to a heavier duty. So you're talking a much more solid connection and things like that. So if you're using them in a professional mode all the time, you definitely want to go that route and get the heavier cable and the heavier connections and things like that. So it's a rebuild from the ground up, but again, it does still work with the legacy mat. So you can make those function with DMX with the new dimmer.
Now, we were talking earlier also, you have 1x1s, you've got 2x1s, and then you've got 2x2s.
Yes, and there's actually a 1x3 in there as well.
Oh, is it really 1x3?
1x3. And the 2x2 and the 1x3 were previously only available in a daylight version, but with the new Cine line, those are coming in bicolor. So, and
that's a lot of light. That is really, I mean, even the 1x1s are pretty bright. I mean, we're at like, and normally we're at no more than 20-30%, and the camera is just, anymore we clip it. So imagine how much we're not using of it, and if you just brighten it all the way, you're pretty much going, ooh, that's bright. They really put out a lot of light.
The 1x2 over here to my left is about maybe 3.5 feet away, and it's at 14%. So
14, yes, it's almost off. That's great. You've got light to spare, and if you have to light somebody a little bit further out, you can without really bothering them that much, and you can reach. That's the beauty of it. Now, another light that you're pretty popular for is the ice light. That's a cool light. It's a fun light. I call it the Jetta. It's our Jetta lightsaber light.
Lightsaber.
Yep.
Yeah, it's Geoff, right?
Yeah. Yes, that's right.
Australian. So that's the ice light. That's a Jerry Gionis design, basically. So he is the mind behind that whole product line. So Westcott tends to work with professional photographers, saying, "Hey, what kind of products do you need, and what is not being out there in the industry?" And I think, that's kind of our signature thing is, let's bring out something that's not already there, that revolutionize what we're doing. Flex is certainly part of that. Ice lights, rapid box, all that kind of that product line. We see a lot of copycats out there and things, but the originators and the people who are really bringing that to market is Westcott. So,
and you have a new ice light, which I think had a lot more brightness to it, which was pretty bright as it was. So now it's brighter. And
surprised if you see some more iterations on that. I would encourage everybody to go to fjwestcott.com and sign up there for our email stuff. So when these new products do come available, like when the Cine line rolls out and things like that, when they are available, you guys get the first notice of that and first opportunities for that.
Cool.
You can expect always, particularly our popular products, seeing how we can improve them. The rapid boxes, I think you just kind of showed a page for that. The rapid boxes have gone to the switch model now, so now we can you can utilize those items. Rapid boxes now have switchable inserts, so across all different manufacturers of light heads, so you can go from an Elencolm to a Profoto to a Bowens mount to a Speedlight mount to even some of the round head speed lights. We have a mount for that, and you can see there's an advancement to the sizes too, all the way up to a 3x4 now. And also we've added grids across all those lines. So you have a grid available for each one of those rapid box mount soft boxes.
Now, in the old days, you guys used to make all sorts of lighting. I don't know, you probably still make some of it, but have you gone mostly to LEDs now?
Most of our lighting products are LED based. So we have a Solix, we have the Flex, obviously. We also have an LED bulb that has a very high CRI. So for people who are using the bulb,
I've seen that bulb. I forgot about that one. That's actually a cool product too. It's very different.
It is a very cool product, and again, another thing that we're working on is a silent version of that. So right now the one in there is not great for video, because if you put in a TD6 with 6 of those in there and they have fans built in, it can be a little noisy for video. So we're looking at options all the time for improving product and making it more usable for our customers.
Geoff?
Pete, have you found that your market is changed a lot over the past few years? Because I find that there's a lot more people getting into lighting that traditionally they wouldn't have.
Yeah, I think with all the options now for portability, I mean, the Flex is one from a continuous light source, but there are all these portable battery strobes and things like that. So rapid boxes, go with those, and people who maybe initially would try to stay away from doing anything but natural light, now that they can have a lightweight, real easy system for manipulating the light to make it a little bit more flattering for their customers. I think that's really opening the door to a lot of lighting that maybe before those customers, they were in more of a natural light scenario. They want to up their game, and now they can do it really comfortably without having to haul around, heavy power packs and giant strobes and things like that.
Yeah, I must admit, I'm in a similar sort of way, that you can get something nice and cheap and you think that will do me, but they're so big and heavy that you won't use it. So you pay a little extra to get something more like the Flex Light, or something that you can actually take around that's not going to be an inconvenience. And that's where the beauty of it is. And as cameras get better and better, and like you said, even natural light, people want something different. Even if there's plenty of light, they just want a light shining in a particular area. And with those lights where you can just stick them anywhere, it just opens up the market so much more.
Yeah, it definitely does. And as someone who comes from a background of managing and owning studios, one of the things that we did was we had to operate, basically from 8:30 in the morning till 8:30 in the evening. And the light that was being provided in certain environments wasn't always ideal for flattering our customers, but when we could manipulate and control that light, that really just opened up the door to being able to photograph from early in the morning through midday and into the evening. So
now you folks were famous,
and now that we can be more portable, it's even more awesome.
Now, Pete, you guys are also very famous for light modifiers. That's kind of a specialty in and of itself. Do a lot of those light modifiers work with the new LED lights? I know you've had them forever on the light modifiers. Are they also good for that? Does it work the same way, I guess?
If we go to the Solix, which is been introduced about a year ago, it has a built-in speed ring for using traditional softboxes.
Okay.
So you don't have to add a speed ring setup to it. For the Flex line, we've introduced tons of modifiers that are specifically made for that lineup. So there are soft boxes, drum lights, China cube, all different kinds of ways to modify that light. So it's specifically made to stay in that whole lightweight, easy to put up setup that Flex allows. But it lets you manipulate the Flex lights more like you would a standard video or even a portrait lighting setup. Our regular soft boxes, which fit the Solix and things like that, and are kind of an industry standard for a long time, just got upgraded to now they carry a 10-year warranty. So I think that rates us the best as far as warranties.
That's a long warranty. Yep.
Yeah. So regular soft boxes, the rapid box line, like I said, has been expanded to go all the way up to a 3x4 rectangular box, complete with grid, and you can still get, the 48-inch Octa, the 36-inch octa, which are probably our most popular ones, but there's strip banks for that, and those set up really, really fast because, as we discussed, everything's becoming more mobile. We want to move product into new environments where we can go from one place to the next place and very quickly. And a lot of photographers today are not working out of studios; they're working out of studio. And I think the Rapid Box is a great product for that. Still keeps the Westcott quality. You know, the light going in is the light coming out as far as color temperature, and there's no color shift in those fabrics. And you know the build quality is going to be there.
Now, for example, with Geoff loves to do a lot of outdoor shooting, a lot of landscape type stuff, but also people, animals, and things like that. What would you recommend for somebody like him for like portable fill light, where he's doing probably more fill light than a lot of key lighting?
Well, are you doing still or video, Geoff, for the most part?
Video mostly.
Mostly video. See, now one of the issues, as you know, with video is particularly in outside, is how bright can you get that light without it affecting the client in front of the camera. Obviously, you do not want to actually match sunlight with a continuous light source because you would never beam the sun into someone's face. A lot of times in a scenario like that, particularly for video, I begin same way I do in stills is I want to manipulate that light first. So I'm using things like scrims and reflectors, which work well both for video and for still photography. So that's my first start. As far as power output, I mean, one thing nice is if you are working in a overcast or shade area, you certainly could bring a flex light in, and they're powerful enough to do some nice fill in those scenarios. And you have the battery option with those as well. So they are portable and usable in a fill situation outdoors as well. So
I've also seen, yeah. And I've also seen some that'll use like a flex light in a situation where they've stuck it in a tree and used it as moonlight in a dark situation, which looks really great. But I've never even thought of doing something like that, or using them pointing into a window from outside at dark to simulate a bit of a morning light, even in a dark situation. So there's so much more possibilities when you've got that smaller form factor somewhere where you can wrap around and you can actually take it with you. That's what I like with it. Now, just a question with that. With all the different lights about these, why? I know they still seem to sell a lot of the tungsten and the fluorescent. Is there still a use for those in the marketplace, or not?
Well, I see more and more people moving to LEDs from both of those. Tungsten offers color quality, CRIs is near 100%. So for those people who are really intent on color being exact, that certainly technically offers that option above even what the best LEDs and certainly well above what CFLs can do in terms of that color. Now, whether or not the actual camera or system that they're using can actually record anything at that level, that's a whole nother argument and question. But for those who are doing product where color is super sensitive, certainly tungsten is an option. TD6 offers a tungsten bulb option for those people if that's their comfort zone, I guess.
But I think with changing as well as far as lighting, like we have in a lot of things in video, years back people wouldn't take a videotape quality. It didn't look right. It had to be that film look. And now everybody's going in the higher, the better the quality, the more video type look it is, the better. And I think that's changing with the lighting. It's like people are accepting LEDs a bit more than anything else, and that becomes, preferable, even if it's not the same as it used to be.
Yeah, I would agree with you, and I think in terms of coming from a portrait background, some of the really smooth skin tone stuff that we used to see in heavy, what I call heavy-handed retouching, is really going away for this more natural look where we're seeing pores and the kind of things that I guess really come out, red noses. people recognize me by that probably more often than not. So, it's time to get over ourselves sometimes in terms of portrait. And certainly the cameras can record that, and the software can take it out if we want it to. But
ever since 4K, thousands of women have committed suicide. That was it. That was the end of it all at that point. 4K really, and imagine 8K. That'll be the end of females on this planet. But do you remember when 1080p came out on TV, and every woman newscaster looked like Elvira? There was so much makeup caked on. I can't see any blemish. Everything has to be perfect. So it became kind of a spooky ghoul show for a while. Thank God they've came out with HD makeup and other things which make people look much more natural and still hide some flaws or whatever else. But you're right. I think the natural look is just one of the better ones. Now, Geoff, I've seen some of Geoff's photos. He's a very good photographer. And he takes animal photos, like portraits of like his own dog, William. He's a pointer, an English pointer, and my God, the pictures are beautiful, and with just some mild lighting, but they really do a good job. And so whether you're taking people or animals or anything, that portrait can be really made to come to life just by good lighting and good angles and everything else. It's really a pleasure to see stuff like that.
But it's like they say with the. It's like they say with the camera, the best camera is the one that you've got with you. And the same thing, I suppose, with lighting. You can have the best one that's sat on a big stand and a big box in your studio, but what's good to that? Where if you've got something that you can just put in your backpack and take around, you've got something, you will use it, and you get much better quality.
Easy to grab and put up, or it's just set up all the time, and you just grab it and you're good to go. I don't know if you see this or not. This is a rapid box here, and this is the new. I don't know if you can get wide enough on that. This is the new switch setup here. See, this has got one of the round head setups on it now, but it's just got a little thing here that opens it up, and that whole thing pops off, and you can put the new one on. So you can switch this in and out all the time to do it. So
if you could raise that a bit, we couldn't see it, but if you there you go.
This is a 26-inch modifier that goes on a speed light, or can go on a strobe. It's got a diffusion front. Pops on, pops. A lot of times I'll use this outside. If I'm in close for a portrait, I'll leave the diffusion on, and sometimes when I just need a little bit more direct light rather than having to go just straight speed light, I'll just pull the diffusion off. And there I just increased my output to overpower sun or something like that.
Nice. So it's very thin too.
Modifier for doing individuals and couples with.
Do you take like wedding shots or portraits?
I started as a wedding photographer, and then did mostly studio and location portraiture for several years. More recently, I've done a few more weddings. I love the Rapid Box Duo for wedding stuff. In the scenario I talked about, I've done a couple outdoor weddings this last summer, and essentially it was an on-camera flash and a Rapid Box Duo off-camera.
Nice.
Everything that I needed as far as the ceremony, the reception, all of it with just that simple setup.
That's really cool. What were you shooting with?
Actually, I used a Canon Mark III. I've actually been kind of going between systems here. I'm playing around with a Sony mirrorless now that we have here, and
now what do you think of the Sony? Now we bought three at the end of last year. We bought three Sony mirrorless. We got the A9 full frame, we got the A7R3 full frame, and then we got the A6500 APS-C sensor. And they were nice. Their focus is very good. If nothing else, they have great focus. Color, not bad, but it's not still as good as Canon or even Fuji for that matter. And I didn't think their color was better than the Panasonic G9, which is their flagship picture camera. And I thought the Sonys were good, but guess what? 6 months later, we sold all three of them and the lenses. Video had limitations of 30 minutes, and we thought, then we don't want that. And the video wasn't bad quality, but again, it's like Geoff said, it's very sharp. So if you like that super sharp TV look, it's okay, but it also lacks, I think, a little bit of the softness that would be nice. I guess you could do post work on it, but if you're trying to avoid doing a ton of post and recoloring and everything, they were nice. I can't complain. They were good. It's just that I still like the Canon look better. I actually like the Fuji look better, even though I'm not a Fuji fan, if you will. We have one of them. I'm not crazy about the camera, but the color is great. They do have very good color. And even the Panasonics are getting closer to, it's not so blue anymore. They're becoming really good flesh tones. So everybody's been improving a little bit. How do you like the Sony so far?
Well, I like the mirrorless. It's for the way that I photograph. It's really, really easy to go out and basically dial in natural and then enhance it with something very quickly. But I don't have to chimp. I just know, that if I start with these settings, I'm going to get nice background. I'm going to get nice fill, and then I'll bring my modified light in as a main light. But I already have that pre-metered, so I know exactly where to put it to influence that light just the right amount.
Yep.
So I'm not losing. It seems like the first shot I always get on my portraits is always the best, and I certainly don't want to have that be the one I chimped on to try to say, oh, let me fix the light there. I don't want it to be about a session of, I don't want that conversation to be about the picture. I want it to be just me and the person in front of my camera, and there I click that and I know exactly what to get. So I love that aspect of it. Having come from a film background, I always felt fairly comfortable with knowing the exposure in advance and how it was all going to be, but that adds that assurance in advance. And so I like mirrorless overall. In terms of color, I really haven't found the issues because everything's correctable, like you said, in post for the most part. Right. But I'm also like you. I don't like to do things in post. But when I can batch process the whole thing, it's not that. I'm not doing video, so I'm not doing all these different things.
We just started, I don't know if you use Lightroom or which one you're using when you're doing pictures, but we just found one. It's been out for a while. We just discovered it about a month ago, and it's called Luminar. Luminar is a really cool photo processing, and I think next month they're adding the back-end database. So right now it exports pictures, but it doesn't do it as well as Lightroom, though they can actually work with Lightroom as an add-in product. So you could do the front end with Luminar and the back end with Lightroom. But I think in November there's a free upgrade. It's only a $69 program for life. You don't have to buy it anymore. You don't have to subscribe. It is, and a lot of people are calling it, and these are pretty high-end photographers, are saying it is a new way to do color. It's much easier than it is in Lightroom. And you can even bring in LUTs, the lookup tables, from video into your pictures. And there's like 50, 100, 200 LUTs available. You can just drop in, and now your pictures look exactly like your video. It's rather interesting, but it's a great product, Luminar. Like I said, we just discovered it about a month ago, and I've really been enjoying it. I don't know if Geoff looked at it yet. It runs on Mac and PC, so it does both. And Luminar 2018 is the current version. Kind of fun stuff.
Yeah, I haven't looked at it yet, but it sounds like a great product. The only thing that always worries me with anything, I just get to learn all the things that it does. Then they discontinue it, and then it goes so out of date that you can't use it. And then you've put in 3 years towards it. At least that's why I like Lightroom a bit. It's been around a long time, and then I still end up paying for the subscription anyway to Creative Cloud. So I've got that one as well.
Yep.
I'm with you on that, Geoff. I like learning a system and then feeling like, okay, I'm comfortable with that, and then next thing you know, it's like, oh, where's that button and where does that go now? What did it do? It can be frustrating when you've got a system that's down and works for you, and then it's like, okay, now we just changed the whole interface, and oh, look how neat these tools are. Say, yeah, but this works for me.
It is a change. Yeah, it is. It's definitely a change. I've used Lightroom for years, and I like it, but I don't. Lightroom feels slow compared to Luminar in terms of the actual processing, and I think it's just a different approach.
We get more anxious to see that now.
Yep.
Now, Pete, if we're nearly getting to the end of the show, I think, now. But one thing I'd like to, if you was to talk to anybody out there, like people like us, or just hobbyists and that, if you said there was one light you need to get at the best price that's not going to break the bank, what would you suggest for them?
If you a light you want, or you know what, from coming from Westcott, so let's talk modifiers, right? Because that's more of our thing. If you're doing video, you got to get flex. There's no doubt. And find the lineup that works for you, either the original line or the Cine line, depending again on how technical you need to be. It's hard to beat, as you guys said, a system that's so portable and so easy to use and so lightweight that you can be a one-man show a lot of times for setting this stuff up, and it fits in most spaces that you're gonna come up against. So if you're looking at lighting for video, I can't imagine that. I'm not a video person, but anytime I want to do video, that's the light I'm going to. And anytime I want to use continuous light, because I have that option, that's what I'm going to, because it is lightweight, easy to use, and offers a really great quality light. As far as modifiers go, I can tell you that for my personal stuff, which is definitely rapid boxes, I have no patience with putting soft boxes together. Apologies to our soft box guys, but I just pop that thing up and be ready to go. I have very little patience with things that don't work, so I can tell you that in my previous employment, we attempted to try some other versions and found that the color quality, both in terms of what was coming out of a single box plus the consistency even along the same product line, was not there. And when you're running 6 studios at the same time and you want consistency, you have to go with a company like Westcott that's going to keep giving you a good product over and over, and you know what you're getting when you get it. So I'm a big fan of the rapid boxes because, like I said, I'm portable most of the time, and those allow me to do that, and I have no patience for setting things up and doing it. So rapid box, quick, good quality, and it just holds up. I have an Apollo from 1993. They used to date them on the marks. I have one from 1993 that still makes its rounds. So
that's pretty cool.
It just takes me back to in the early 70s. I remember when my father got this camera or movie camera and got a light. And it was like switching it on. We all looked like vampires. It was so bright, like and everybody'd come on. It's oh no, here comes Dad with the light, and it used to be so frightening. And you thought, I just can't believe how I've still got that light. I turned it on the other day, and it nearly blew it just nearly melted the people away in front of it. I thought, it was so powerful.
At the good old days.
Yeah.
That was good. Well, Pete, as always, we were kind of at the end of the show, but we really appreciate you coming on and sharing with us. Always fun. We've got to have you on more often. This is good stuff. And next time, if you ever want to come on and show some of the stuff you've taken, like portrait, we'd love to see that kind of stuff. That's always wonderful to see what people are doing with the cameras and with the lighting and everything. That just brings everything to life. So feel free next time if you want to share. Have at it.
Yeah, that sounds like fun. Maybe I'll just do something with my favorite modifiers and light setups, and then we can just go on and share some of the stuff that I'm doing.
Let us know when you want to do that, and we'll just have you right back on. That'd be a lot of fun. Because I think a lot of people don't get light that well, and they don't get modifiers and how you can play with light. What's the old thing? It's not the camera, it's not anything. It's really the light. It's what you do with that light.
Is writing with light, right? It's not writing.
Yeah. Yeah, I saw a YouTube video one time of a guy, and this is kind of fun. He was actually in Australia. I don't remember what his name was, and he was in Melbourne. Oh, wait, no, he was in Sydney, I think. But he did a class at night on painting with light. It was absolutely fun. That video is out there. If you just type in painting with light Australia or Melbourne or Sydney, it was really cool. And he was showing people how to do it, how to create the streaks of light, how to do everything by just changing your aperture, your shutter, doing different things. That class would have been fun to be in. It was just a great class of just the things you can do. And it's kind of fun. That's what a lot of people forget. They talk about the camera, the camera, the camera, the camera. But without light, the camera's nothing. So, yeah, it's just sort of interesting.
My favorite stuff was photographed, obviously, back in the film days as well. But sometimes I'll walk into houses of people I know for some time and see an image that I took some time ago, 20, 30 years ago, hanging on the wall, film, and be like, wow. I really wish I could still get that quality.
Yeah.
Even the emulators of the digital just don't quite do the same thing. So
no, they're getting better though.
They are.
They're getting better, but boy, it's hard to emulate.
I'd never go back. I'd never go back. I mean, I love it. I love it.
Yeah.
I still have that feeling from digital to the old ways that we used to take more time because each press of that shutter cost us money, and we took more time in investing in learning how to do it because we knew we had to be sure that was it. Whereas now we can shoot 1,001 and might get a single shot, but we usually lose that because we can't find them in the amount of shots we've taken.
Well, I was watching. Do you remember? There was a video. I forgot the photographer's name right now. It slipped, but he was being interviewed by Hugh Brownstone, and he was the photographer that took the shot of Greg Louganis when he jumped off the springboard and hit his head on the concrete. Yeah. And it was fascinating because the photographer, he's a very humble guy. He says, "Look, I couldn't have shot that. That was on a DSLR." He goes, "You couldn't even see what you were shooting because you shot and you had like blackouts for a second, or you would see it, but you couldn't really figure out what was happening until after it happened." And he said, after I looked at the shot, I went, "My God, I got him right when he hit his head." He goes, he couldn't have planned that. It just happened. And he said just the speed of the camera, and with those DSLRs, you couldn't really track it as it was going on. And so it was rather fascinating. When it finished, he looked at the shots and went, "Oh." And that was after they were developed. So pretty interesting how times have changed, and how much of photography, at least sport photography, is just you get lucky. You just happen to be at the right place, right time, and you hit the shutter and maybe hit it 3 or 4 times, or have a rapid shutter, and you go, "I didn't know I got that shot. Wow."
Right there, because I have some of those images. I haven't done event photography for some time as well, and I have some of those where it's a matter of getting in a place, anticipating, almost hoping that something's going to happen in that space, and then it when it does, it's amazing.
Yeah.
You know, and when it doesn't, you just move on to the next shot and hope it occurs sooner or later. But
yep. It's fun. Well, again, Pete, thanks so much for coming on. We appreciate it, and we hope you and the company continue to do gangbusters and just keep wowing everybody, because you're wowing all of us all the time. So great work, and yeah, let's get together next time and do some sharing of what you've done with the mod. I think that'd be a blast, and people would learn a lot.
All right, let's do it. Let's plan it.
Sounds good. I'll have Sarah give you a call, and you just tell us how much time you need to get it all together, and we'll make it happen.
Maybe Geoff can do a shootout. What do you think? Those seem to be popular.
Yeah, do a shootout.
That would be fun.
Like photography or something. We'll throw some images up there, like here's my dog and here's my dog.
Yeah, that'd be fun.
I like shooting. I'm nowhere in the range of your photography, but I'll just do mine for fun. So I'll get some good shots, but there's a lot of rubbish.
He's humble, but he's got some really good shots.
I'll tell you, before you're leaving, I'd just like to say, with the Westcott thing, one of the things I love on your website that you don't see in many of them is it's got this little thing down the bottom, and it's got all the power plugs. And it's got Australian power plug, American age, all of them, because that's the first question if you're buying any of them. Oh, will that fit? And nobody bothers telling you, but that's got just that little detail really makes a difference. So if anybody's looking, you can see whether it's compatible with the country of choice or wherever you are. So very good.
Well, I'll pass your compliments on to the marketing team and put all that together.
Yeah.
So.
It's all those little things. Those little things make such a difference.
That's the key, isn't it? The nuances. It's always in the nuances.
It is. It is. Yeah, I mean, like well, we're going to run out of time, but even with the flex lights, when you have like the little things you can slide things into, you can hang them. There's a lot of little things that are there that you go, oh, that's great. That makes it easier to do certain things with magnets now. I mean, all of that makes such a difference. So little things, we appreciate them. Anyway, again, Pete, thanks a lot. You have a great weekend. Geoff, you too. And if you're watching the show, please subscribe. Give us your feedback. We will have information below on how to get a hold of Pete and also the FJ Westcott website, so you guys can take a look at some of the things they do. It's great stuff. Have a good one, everyone. We'll see you next week. Bye-bye.
Bye for now.